Hi, my name is Donna. I am a compulsive eater and bulimic, and I weigh and measure 3 meals a day from the gray sheet, commit those meals to my sponsor. I don't eat in between no matter what. And I'm learning one day at a time to put my abstinence first without exception. My abstinence date is 3/18 of 25, and I'm really, really grateful. Um, I just can't express that enough. I was I was I was thinking I have a little sign here, um, and I have a bracelet. They both say, "This too shall pass." Um, and they mean a lot to me. The reason being, when I was in the food, uh, it seemed like everything slowed down and stayed that way forever and ever, and nothing would ever change. I'm so grateful to Gray Sheeters Anonymous because as long as I stay abstinent, there's possibilities today. There's a possibility for me to change, for situations to change, for life to just be better. And I will go back a little bit. Food for me gave me a lot of courage. It um, I remember, coming home from school, opening the refrigerator and just staring inside, not knowing why I was doing this. And I was a kid at the time. And, my parents would be like, Donna, walk away, get going, but I was just staring into the fridge like there was some kind of answer or some kind of solution in food. And in high school, it got worse. It started to manifest on my body. And I had a lot of hopes and dreams, but food took over in a way that was very distracting. I couldn't concentrate because of all the new items in the cafeteria at school. It was like, wow, this has really lit up my brain. Um, and then deadened it, of course. I went on to um, in my 20s, I went on to start to practice bulimia, which, I'm grateful. I never thought I would share this ever, but it's really important because the shame is gone. The idea of me needing to purge and still eat more. Uh, was just an idea I thought I would keep to my grave. I'm never going to tell anybody, and this is just so so sad. But it's in the past, and I'm so grateful to not have to hurt myself with food anymore. Um, I did develop diabetes, and I had several hernia surgeries, and still I could not stop eating. I tried everything. I tried diets, hypnosis. Um, there was a thing for me too. I was always in denial and control. So I thought because this was food, how could it be a problem? Um, how could food really hurt me this much? I mean, it can't be the food. It's just food. Uh, so there was a big denial there about it being a problem. And then the other thing is, I always tried to control it. And I felt like if I could just get some control, if I could just will myself into stopping eating, then everything would be okay. And of course, I couldn't do that. Um, I remember eating, from the minute I woke up starting to eat, and that's the kind of eater I was till I went to bed at night, just an all day eater. I remember going to faculty meetings, excuse me, and on the way there, in the hallway, I'm eating on the way, to important meetings, meeting co-teachers after work, on the way there, stopping at gas stations, having to have food, before I get to the meeting. When I woke up in the morning, I was a teacher. I would eat from when I got in the car until I got to school, that you can't eat with your students. And then after school, eating all the way the 45 minutes on the way home, and then having dinner with my family. I could not stop eating. It meant more to me than anything else. Um, and there's a quick story that really helped me hit bottom, and that is a co-teacher was pregnant, and I ate her food. I was very embarrassed, and of course, I didn't want to come clean about that, but she sent out an email to everyone who would do this. I'm pregnant. Who would eat my food? How could somebody do this? So I had to come clean, and I went to apologize with the assistant principal. And, it was so embarrassing, but still not enough, because I kind of thought, well, she's a little loud about this. But it was shortly after that, my principal stopped me in the hallway and said, Donna, have you ever considered working out after school? This might really help you, because by this time I had become a real sitting down kind of teacher. I didn't want anybody to ask too much of me. I didn't want to have to do too much. The food was just sedating for me, and I didn't want to have to continue to be asked to do more than I felt like it. Um, and what's interesting, and this is what keeps me really on the beam today, is I began to get really mad about getting up in the morning. Like, thanks a lot. This is another day. Um, because it was just going to be a repeat. It was going to be a repeat of yesterday. Nothing was going to change. Uh, I was sober from alcohol, but, you know, because of the food, it was like nothing was going to change. So anyway, my principal said this to me, and I was mortified. I was like, oh my gosh, she wants me to work out after school. Has it gotten that bad? Like, oh my gosh. And I came home. I was humiliated, but thank God for her, because and for that confrontation, because I got on the website, and this was in 2015, and I don't know how I found GreySheeters Anonymous, but I found this gal, and she talked with me on the phone for about an hour. And we went over, here's where you could go to this meeting. We have a phone bridge. You can get on right away. And she was very caring and very hopeful that I might be able to get abstinent. And I did get on the phone bridge, and I got a sponsor right away. And I surrendered like right away. Uh, she explained the gray sheet to me, and she asked me to do things like the next day, call her at a certain time, the day following that, call it a different time. I found myself just doing it. It was like, wow, I really need this. And I'm just going to listen to what these people have to say. When the weight melted, I'm still maintaining about a 70-pound weight loss, and that went away. And I, I started to feel like I could do life, like maybe the thinking my thinking could shift, and that life wasn't so hard after all. And what happened for me is I did begin to drift. I stopped putting this first. I stopped putting my gray sheet abstinence first. And my daughter and I, we have this running joke. She said to me one time, Mom, do you have to get on those meetings? Like, can't you be a happy camper without meetings? And I'm like, I don't know. Do you think I could be a happy camper without meetings? And we laugh because it's like, nope, I'm not going to be a happy camper without meetings, without being abstinent. I'm just not a happy camper. Uh, abstinence has given me so much. Last week my nephew got married and the wedding was lovely. It was so beautiful. And I took a picture of my scale at the wedding table. It was like I felt free to be myself, to wear what I wanted, to to look how I wanted, and to just celebrate his life with his new gal. And um, it was lovely, and it wasn't about food, and it wasn't about me. You know what I mean? It wasn't like um, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it was just so celebratory. It was beautiful. Um, and in Gray Sheeters Anonymous, the without exception is so important to me that wherever I am, whatever I do, I'm going to weigh and measure my food. And if you don't understand, then that's not any of my business. If you don't understand, I'm not really going to try to convince you or anything. I think my husband, uh, kind of gets it, kind of doesn't. It doesn't matter, you know. What matters is I have you guys, I have the program, I have a new life today, and I don't need to go backwards. I don't need to hurt myself with food any longer, you know. Um, I was thinking too that, with my daughter, that I am a better mom. I've always been a sober mom, but, you know, being in touch with her needs is really something that is it's nuanced, and it has to be because of her needs. And the abstinence gives me the opportunity to pause before I respond. It gives me the opportunity to listen to her in ways that, to be honest, when I was in the food, I just don't want to be bothered. You know, it's just a bother. Like everything is just a bother when when I was in the food. So, today there's an opportunity for me to hear her and then make some changes. And I think that's the most important thing for me at this stage with my abstinence, is that it's giving me the opportunity to maybe make some necessary changes. Whereas if I wasn't abstinent, it would all be about the food. It would be about like trying to get abstinent.
Donna,
So,
that's 2 minutes left.
oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Um, so let's see, what is it like today? Well, I go to a lot of meetings. I do service. I'm weighing and measuring what I can do, given my responsibilities at home. And that feels right to me. I didn't do that before, but it feels right to me now. And I just want to stay on the beam. And also, I don't know. I don't have any qualms anymore about what I do with food. I have, and I don't make apologies either for what I do with food. Um, I have a refrigerator in the garage and a freezer, and I'm really blessed to have that. And I really enjoy my food. I went to the retreat in Portland, and I went on a train, and it was so fun. It was so nice. It was very relaxing, and I had all my own food. And just in case, I found that like having backup is super important. Um, let's see. I think that's about it. I'm trying to. I don't know. I think the biggest thing for Gray Sheeters Anonymous for me is um, is just getting to know myself a little bit more, because it's not so much improvements, but changes. Like I see changes that I'm pleased with. Oh, and with that, I will pass. I'm very, very grateful. I pass. Thank you.